Hello from the Hyperledger Global Forum here in Dublin. I'm delighted to be joined by Daniela Barbosa, Executive Director at Hyperledger. Daniela, good afternoon.
Hi Mike, how are you doing?
Great, Daniela. First of all, congratulations. 2 amazing days here in Dublin. Well done, brilliant.
Absolutely, it's all about our members and our community. It's been fantastic.
So Daniela, to set the scene for us, could you maybe describe your role at Hyperledger, please?
Sure. So as Executive Director of the Hyperledger Foundation, I'm responsible for the community, the members, and the projects, the open source projects that are part of the Hyperledger Foundation, making sure that everybody is working together in the open. So we are building things only once and together in the best way that we possibly can. And really making sure that when we are building this enterprise-grade technology, that certain aspects of open source are really pushing through. So we have lots of companies and individuals and governments, for example, who might be new to open source. So we really work with them and with their developers and the maintainers on the projects to make sure that they understand open source core principles, to make sure that the code is enterprise grade, that there's security, and very importantly, that there's a live commercial ecosystem in supporting these technology projects.
So we see how the Hyperledger has evolved a strategy over the last 6 years, and as you say, education was kind of pivotal and important to that. If you wanted to maybe pick up 1 or 2 examples of the community in action for our audience, what would that be?
So a couple of things back on the education front. So if you think about when Hyperledger Foundation was formed in 2016, we actually be called the Hyperledger Project, there was a couple of open source projects that were part of Hyperledger. We started doing education and obviously community building. The enterprise blockchain course that we did on edX has over 200,000 students that have taken that course. So if you think about educating a market on why blockchain and how blockchain and why Hyperledger is really core to that industry, we really have done a lot of that market education. And we continue to do so. We just launched yesterday a new course for self-sovereign identity because it is time in the market to educate the business and technical leaders and executives of why digital identity and decentralized identity is so important. So that's a piece of really the focus on the Hyperledger Foundation that we do. You've been speaking to many of our members, companies that are actually building, deploying, running, multi-billion-dollar systems on top of our technology. This is long-term technology that we're building, and we need to do it responsibly. We need to be able to allow innovation to happen, and we need to do it in the open.
So when we think about the last couple of days, all the stories that have been shared, there is the how you're going about doing this, providing the governance to do what you're doing. Why do you think it's important right here, right now in 2022? What's come together to make this the moment?
I think it all still comes back to trust. Right? These systems are basically trust systems, digital trust across ecosystems, across consortiums, across industries, across large supply chain and trade finance systems, healthcare. Individuals and companies need to trust one another, and this technology allows use cases that prove that as companies get together to work together.
And it's great because there has been such a variety from CBDC to tokenization to food safety to health safety. It's absolutely fantastic. So I've got 2 final questions. If looking across all the great stuff that's been happening, is there one particular project or particular innovation, and with lots of news announced over the last few days, but if there's one particular that you'd like to share with the audience that stands out for you?
Yeah, I think looking at the new projects in the Hyperledger Foundation, we have become more than just a distributed ledger open source community because the market itself requires more than a distributed ledger technology. So you think about interoperability with Hyperledger Cacti and how these companies who very often compete in the marketplace with each other are coming together, once again, to build one time, to do it well so that they can build on top of it the value add that they bring to market and is uniquely their value proposition to the market. So I think things like Hyperledger Cacti, and then in the digital identity space, we've been at it since 2017 with Hyperledger Indy, Hyperledger Air, ARIES and URSA. These are all important code bases that are used in production. For example, the government of British Columbia just this week launched the government BC wallet. This is real people using Hyperledger technologies to do verifiable credentials. It's happening.
One final question. So I've asked every one of our guests just to share with their personal perspective and value of what to expect from the Hyperledger community. And it's been an amazing array of feedback, just glorious, it's infectious. But one final statement for yourself, what's the core value of the Hyperledger community you'd like to share with our audience?
You know, it's about being open, it's about being global, and having diverse voices, and essentially we're building the next infrastructure in financial services, in healthcare, in food supply, in digital identity. And if we don't do it in a global basis together and have diverse voices, we're going to just build bad old systems again.
Build it together once. I love it, Daniela. Daniela, thank you ever so much. Congratulations on two grades. Enjoy the rest of your time in Dublin. Superb. Thank you.
I sure will. Thank you.